Hey guys, I'm retired Navy SEAL sniper instructor Chris Sajnog and founder of the New Rules of Marksmanship. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do a proper magazine reload with your pistol. Let's go ahead and get started.
Joining me now is retired Navy SEAL sniper Chris Sajnog.
All right, so doing a proper magazine reload with your pistol can be crucial, whether it be during a competition or a life or death situation that you may find yourself in. Learning how to do it is really easy if you follow these simple steps that I'm going to teach you right now. When you practice this at home, where you should practice, make sure that your weapon has been cleared and safe and you're following all firearms safety rules. So I have my pistol here and I have some empty magazines and they have some inert rounds in them, some practice dummy rounds. So you can use those at home too. Just make sure there's no live ammunition in your weapon, in your magazine, or I suggest even in the room that you're training in. I'm going to be teaching what's called a slide lock reload. So I've fired all my rounds and the magazine is empty now. It's sad. It wants me to fill it back up with some more rounds, so I'm going to do that. When it comes to a reload, the first thing that you need to do is realize that there's a need to reload. And when you first start shooting especially, I've seen plenty of shooters out there who simply don't realize that their gun isn't going bang when they pull the trigger, and they just keep squeezing the trigger. And this can happen too in one of those life or death situations, or even a competition when you have a lot of stress going on. Okay, so that's the first thing, is recognition. So practicing just the fact that you have a magazine that needs to be reloaded is a great thing to do. So how do you do that? First off, you should learn to notice that slide comes back and it's going to feel different than a normal shot. Number two is you should be able to see that your gun is not in line like it normally looks. If you're staring at these sights properly, you're going to notice that difference. Number three, if you need to, what you can do is you can just cant the gun up just a little bit, and then I can see that that chamber is empty just with a little cant right there. The next thing that I want to do, obviously, is get this reloaded as fast as possible. So the first thing that I need to do is get the empty magazine out of my weapon. So I'm going to start bringing this gun back into my workspace. So my workspace is this area right in here. I've got my elbow indexed along either my body or some part of my gear. I want to do that because if I need to move around or if I'm in the dark, every time I do a reload, no matter where it is, I know where that magazine needs to go. It's right here. I can run like this and look around and reload my magazine if I need to. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my muzzle in line with my target because that's the straightest, most direct line, so it's going to be the fastest. Always remember, eyes, muzzle, target. You always want to do that. If my target's moving while I'm reloading, I'm going to be keeping my eyes and my muzzle in line with that target. And I can do that easily because I'm indexing my elbow along my body. While I do that, I'm going to be dropping my magazine. So all I need to do is press on my magazine release right here and it's going to fall out. Now, if you have smaller hands and you can't reach and get that, rotate the gun in your hand with your support hand. Don't flip it out of your hand, because if I flip it out of my hand, it's not going to be in the same place every time. So when I go to re-grip my gun, it's not going to be the same grip that I had before I did my reload. If I need to, I roll it as I come back, and then as I go forward, I'm going to roll it with that same hand back into the exact same position. And that's going to give you the same grip that you started with. You want to stay consistent after you do your reload with your grip. With that said, as I start to bring it back, I'm just going to hit that and use the inertia of the magazine well is pointed down. And as I do it, I'm reaching for my first magazine, which I call is in my sweet spot. Now, my sweet spot is the first magazine pistol that I'm always going to go to in an emergency. So I'm going to reach and grab that one out. Now, I'll tell you later on, when you have time, you should move your other magazines closer to your gun. Move them towards your sweet spot. So that's going to save me time next time. I can go to the exact same place that I went to. Definitely practice getting them from other places, but when you have time, move your ammunition towards your gun. If you have extra magazines up on your gear, if you're in the military and law enforcement, do the same thing. Have a sweet spot. Always use that when possible. So I'm here, I drop my magazine. As I'm doing that, I'm reaching, I'm bringing it back. And I want to reach and grab this with the palm of my hand onto the top of the magazine. I don't want to pull it out like this. I want to pull it out like this and point at that first round inside of that magazine. And that's called indexing the magazine. The reason you want to do this is because this finger is going to know and point exactly where you want it to go. I drop my magazine, I bring it back into my workspace, I'm indexing, I'm looking up, eye muzzle target, and I'm bringing it closer to where it needs to go. Now, one thing that I want you to do is glance down right at the last second, right before it goes in. That's critical because you want to make sure that it goes in. You don't want to miss and keep trying to get this thing because you're looking at the target and you're nervous and you're scared or whatever. Bring it in. I'm looking up right before I know it's going to go in. I look down. And as soon as I see it going in, my eyes are back up on my target, eyes muzzle target. Continue guiding the magazine in till it's about halfway in. Because sometimes what will happen is it'll start to go in, and if I don't guide it, it'll get caught sideways in there and you're going to be fighting it. So glance down, guide it in, eyes go back up, and seat the magazine hard. Roll this back out, and as I do, I'm going to release the slide and continue shooting. So that is how you do a magazine reload. What I want you to do when you practice this is I want you to chunk it into the smallest portions possible. Now, chunking means breaking down that movement into the smallest parts that make sense. I notice that I need to reload my weapon. So this is going to be my first chunk right here. Releasing the magazine and getting my hand onto my new magazine. So it's this movement of making sure that every time I notice that I need to do a magazine reload, it's going to happen the same way every single time. That's a chunk. And then we're going to build another chunk onto that. So that next chunk is going to be from here to here. I've brought it in, I've grabbed my magazine, and now I want to practice getting it up to there and bringing my eyes down. All right, so my last chunk then is going to be, I've inserted the magazine, I'm looking back up, I've got eye muzzle target. This chunk, all it's going to be is seating the magazine and rolling forward and being ready to shoot. And that's it. Just keep doing that until every time you get to this point, this again is going to be a perfect, quick thing. So when you go do your magazine change, you're just going to put all those pieces of the puzzle together and you're going to have a super fast, super smooth magazine change. So that is it for today. I hope this has helped you out, and until next time, keep paving your path to perfection. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed watching that video, and if you did, I put together my top 3 videos for learning to shoot at home, and I want to give those to you absolutely free. Now, all you have to do is click the iCard that just popped up, or you can go to chrissajnog.com/free videos, and I will send you not only those top 3 videos that I have for learning to shoot at home, but I will also send you a free PDF copy of my New Rules of Marksmanship manifesto. Click the card, go to chrissajnog.com/free videos so I can send you those videos. Keep paving your path to perfection, guys.